Hello, 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 everyone. I am starting my live. Hello, everyone. This is Chala, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert, coming to you with a Tuesday tea time with Chala. This is not tea. It is not tea time. It is like, dinner time. And I have been busy, disheveled. The kitchen is being reconstructed, so there is no tea. There's barely this, and I've got paint on me. So I'm just barely dressed. I'm happy to be here, but I have a really, really great topic for you today. It's really exciting, actually. I'm telling all my clients about it. We are restructuring a lot of things that we're doing with my clients around this topic. And the topic is that there is actually a marketing strategy that we've been doing for years, decades really, and people have been doing for decades, but it has become even more prominent and important. And recent research says that this kind of marketing is 97% ROI, gets 97% more ROI than any other kind of marketing. So being a marketing strategist, of course, my ears were perked up, and it's actually considered one of the top trends of B2B marketing in 2021, 2022. And guess what it is? It is called ABM, account-based marketing. Now, what is account-based marketing, you ask? While I take a sip of my non-tea for the tea time. And you guys, it's so late that I can actually show you like the view here in my condo, where I'm on the 14th floor, and you can't see the whole thing, but it's, yeah, you wouldn't visit me if you were afraid of heights kind of thing. Like, it's really everything out there. So what is ABM is, I call it the shock and awe campaign, because you literally pick one account at a time to focus all of your firepower to get them to notice you, to get them to open the door for you into a meeting, to create something specific for them to intercept them. But of course, the kind of marketing that I do is always about their pain, right? It's always about something that they are trying to wrestle with, to solve, something that's very expensive and persistent, that's costing them a lot of money. It is never about you. So here are some examples of really great, what I call shock and awe, ABM, not to be mixed up with automated banking machines, but account-based marketing. I even forgot what the acronym stood for. Okay, so the first thing was we used to, before pre-pandemic, we used to bring in lunch and have strategy meetings or lunch and learns or capability presentations with key target prospects that we somehow connected through people we knew, or through all the other kinds of funnels that we have, but we would go in with food. And so now, because of the pandemic, they're called pizzanars. I love this term. Pizzanars are webinars where you're sending a pizza for them to eat while they watch your webinar virtually. You can send webinar, or you can send pizzas, or you can send any other kind of food, but this is getting done all the time. So if you have a pizzanar strategy and you're focusing on one client and you're doing a webinar about their specific pain and the solution to their pain, wham, you're in with your pizzanar. I love that idea. Love the name. All right, so the second one is, I'm going to give you an example of, so this is the shock and awe in bus shelters or billboards. And there have been movies about this, where you take out a billboard ad about one thing to cause one change to happen. But imagine if you were doing this with your shock and awe method of marketing. So an example is when a client who was trying to get a product listed into their main major retailer, which was Staples, actually took out a bus shelter ad and placed the new product that they were trying to get into the stores, a giant picture of the product, in front of the office building of the headquarters of Staples, where the office is overlooked. And so all the employees, the buyers, everybody were able to see the new product, and because they thought it was a huge campaign, but it was only one bus shelter that was purchased, they thought there was a big buzz about the product, and so the product was listed within the month. So that's one example. Other examples I've heard about is the bus wrap, or some form of like large visual presentation that is specifically targeted to one account, to one company, and to try to get in the door with them. And this really works if you're trying to influence them and get in the door with them, because it's expensive to do these things that I'm telling you about, and it can take a long time, but these are meant for big clients. This is where you're going to actually get the ROI. And don't forget, billboards is also part of that. Number 3 is there was an example of one of the ABMs, so the account-based marketing examples that I loved, where, and we've used this with our clients too, where we literally stalk. I mean, online stalk, of course, I don't want you to go to the person's house. I don't want you to get arrested. I don't want me to get arrested, but we stalk the prospect's interests. So a CEO of an IT company that the prospect was trying to get in touch with had a huge admitted yen for superheroes, Avenger superheroes. So what the company, the vendor, did was they made a cartoon of the solution and their pitch, and put him as the superhero in the cartoon to tell the story of how they can help them. So it was a brilliant idea. Of course, they got the account. And it was a huge coup. And now the way that we did it was, one of my clients we were trying to get into, I think it was Google or Yahoo or one of these really big, juicy accounts. And what they did was they manufactured human, like adult onesies. So we found out that one of the marketing manager that we were trying to get in touch with, and it was very public that she had an animal charity. So she sent, my client made and sent, and this was the strategy, animal onesies to her just to get the meeting. And she got the meeting, she got her attention, and I think she also got the order. So those are the shock and awe ways of, account-based marketing kinds of ideas. Another client, here's a 4th way that you can do this, is through magazines. So my client, who owns a PR agency, created a magazine, like front to back, full printed cover to cover magazine with their idea in the magazine. And every different campaign name was a different page or a different feature, a different corner. All the write-ups were done as if it was a magazine, but it was actually pitching different elements of the actual campaign. So it was really brilliantly done, really well presented. And of course it went through. I mean, these things take time. They take planning and they take money, but they work, and they're long-term strategies for big, big clients. So don't ever think that you can't get big clients, but you have to be more creative, and you have to put more skin in the game, and you have to, put a little more sweat equity into it. Okay. Lastly, is the tactile category, which is something, physical that you're sending them. But it has to be creative, and the creative has to be in line with what the message is. So what you're trying to convey, or what the industry is, or what the pain is, or what the solution is. So for example, the simplest one that I'll tell you is when I helped a client get a job, who was Canadian, get a job at Saatchi, New York, which was at the time the most biggest coveted job for, if you wanted to be in advertising. And he got it through writing his resume, his CV, on a mannequin's arm and sending it that way. And it was so creative that even though he was applying to be an account manager, even though he wasn't applying to be a creative, they still wanted him to work there. Another example that I read about, which I loved, was when a company sent their presentation on a viewfinder, which was, like in the old days, they used to be really, really popular. But so the message and the campaign that they were suggesting was also kind of retro. So the message and the messenger kind of really fit well together. So keep that in mind of how you're going to do the message. And then a client, a really great client, one of my first, she sent a toaster to a jam company with fake bread in the toast as the toast, and on it, and they were postcards, and they said, you know, would you like to have a jam and, you know, come up with some new marketing ideas? Would you like to have a jam session? Of course, it's a jam company, right? So of course they got the meeting and they got, you know, the client. So these are just examples of account-based marketing, which I call the shock and awe kind of marketing. I think it works really well. It's really time tested. I mean, these stories that I'm telling you are over like my career of 30 years. So, and I know I look young, but I have actually participated in all of these things. So I hope you can also get some ideas about, first of all, be audacious, you know, the big, hairy, audacious goal, get those audacious, big goal clients. I mean, it's going to be 2022. A lot of my clients are doing planning. And through this, we are targeting some big, hairy, audacious goal type of big accounts. You know, you can have just 5 a year. You can have just 2 a year. It depends on the size, because you can do much less work, earn so much more money with much higher value accounts. So use this method, make good use of it, and let me know some of the ideas that you've had or that you've implemented or that you're going to do. All right, guys. So that's my Tuesday tea time, not tea time for tonight. And I will see you next week. All the best.